day. Happy day. I wanted to come on. Today was a bit busy, but I was coming on today because I did not get a chance to post my video. Hello, my fabulous peeps. I didn't get a chance to post my video. And so I was determined to come on today, which is now the next day. But I was going to do it before I go to my bed. But needless to say, so hopefully you saw the title as it relates to why we need to have a multiple stream of income. And oftentimes when I've gotten this question quite a bit, and what does it mean as far as having multiple stream of income? And so I wanted to come on first of all to just identify the biblical perspective on why you need to have a multiple stream of income, and it is biblical. And so I want you to, when you get a moment, to look at Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2. And when I found this chapter, and I was like, God, I did not realize that God talks about it too, on why we need to have multiple streams of income. And so I wanted to share it with you. And so it says, give a portion to 7 or even 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. Okay, that is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2. Now, this is it. The verse encourages spreading resources or investments in multiple areas, right? Rather than putting all your eggs in one basket. So even God talks about the importance of diversification. And so allows you the importance, right? Encourage you that you have to be prepared when life happens, when the unexpected happens, right? When you are in your right mind, and you can make a sound decision, right? You're not making emotional decisions. You're making mathematical, strategic decisions. And so this verse talks about that. I've shared with you recently the different losses that my family and I experienced, not just with the loss of my only brother and my father, but just losses that we've experienced: foreclosure, bankruptcy, being sued, all of that, and having to come back from that. And it was a process, and it was very devastating. Had as well. Thank you. Hi. As well, and I'm in this position where I just love to encourage, because listen, when life happens, okay, and your back is against the wall, and you thinking like there is no way out, and when you hear what God says, that it's important for you to put yourself in the position, blessings to you as well, and you hear this verse about having multiple streams of income, because when life happens, are you prepared? And so it says, not what disaster may happen on earth, highlights the importance of being prepared for unforeseen circumstances and potential losses, right? By diversifying your investments and income sources, individuals, right, you can negate the risk of financial hardship, because you realize that money is a tool, and if you got it once, you can get it again. Okay, and how it is so important that you can have multiple streams where you're not always working for money, because if you get to the point where you're always working, then you're missing out the biblical principles that God talks about. You miss out on the biblical principles that God talks about. right? And so that's why it's so important that we get a financial education and we put ourselves in the position, thank you for the love, we put ourselves in the position that we believe financial education is something that is free. There is so much resources out there that it puts us in the position that we do not have to live in a state of lack once we understand that God desires for us to prosper, even as our soul prosper and be in good health. That's the word of God. And why does he say that? Because it's not just talking about money, but every area, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially. But we know also the Bible talks about where money answers. And I'm going to find that verse where it says money answers all things. Okay, there is an actual verse that says that money answers all things. I want to read that to you, which is also in Ecclesiastes as well. Ecclesiastes 10:19 would suggest that money answers all things. Okay, money answers, suggesting that wealth can satisfy desires and needs, but it's not a literal solution for every problem, right? It helps with circumstance and situation as well, but we have to understand how we put ourselves in the position on how to properly save for the future when you have so much debt, right? How much money is enough money that you need to retire? What is that? What if you die prematurely, or somebody that you know prematurely, and are you in a position to take care of that expense? And can you truly become financially secure, right? And the answer is that yet even if you say you don't have enough month, you have more month than money, and I know this is the season where we are in, which is absolutely crazy, where we're in tax time, right? We know that tax time happens at the end is April the 15th, and what we need to do, prepare when that extra money comes in, if you get a refund. If you get a refund, and it doesn't mean that you take that money, because I've just sat with several of my clients, and they're just like, Teacher Melanie, I don't want to just pay off bills. You've told me time in and time out, I want to make a decision where I need to make sure that this money is working. It's not going to end. It's not going to end. I'm getting this extra. It should not end. How can I let this money continue to grow and be really strategic and intentional with this extra income, right? That truly create a legacy for my family and myself. And one of the things that I've shared with them was, first of all, I'm glad that they said, look, do not, let me repeat myself, fellow people. Okay, and I'm telling you from experience, do not take the money that you receive from your tax return and pay off your bills. You will be back at square one, having more month than money. Why? Because you have taken care of somebody else's financial house before you take care of your financial house first. It is biblical. So you have to put yourself in the position of doing this. First of all, you need to first of all, you have to find out what's the layers of the financial house, right? I'm going to share that with you real quick, and I'm just going to share the layers. If you want something more specific according to your plan, what's going to be a best fit for you, need to connect with me. All right, you need to connect with me. You can find my scheduling, or you can get on my mailing list, right? DM me as well when I have the different trainings that are coming up to find out what is it that you need to do. So first of all, there's a foundation, protecting your income. Do you have the resources? Have you put yourself in the position of protecting your greatest asset, which is your income? Do you understand what I'm saying? Your greatest asset is your income. Your greatest asset is not your house. Okay, and actually, right, especially if you have a mortgage on it, it is a liability, right? Your greatest asset is not your car, right? Because you lose value in that very quickly. Your greatest asset is your income. Why is it's your income your greatest asset? Is because your income pays for the food, clothing, shelter, all the things that you need to take care of your family. And if there is a loss in that income, will your family be okay? Can they continue to live with, unfortunately, the loss of your presence, but with the income that whether you are here or not can continue to help them to live, right? They don't have to move. They don't have to work moving in with family members or living on the street. Is that possible? Are you put yourself in a position? And this is the other thing too. Let me say this other thing. Even if you have a 9 to 5 and you're saying, well, my 9 to 5 offers me income protection or life insurance, whatever the case may be, but I'm good. But then my question is, if heaven forbid, you leave that job, right? Or you're able to work for a period of time, will they continue to pay you? Will they continue paying? Because guess what? They are in control of that benefit. They're in control of that benefit. You don't control that benefit. They do. And so you always want to put yourself in the position of being in control. Being in control. Then I want to ask yourself, what is that amount of money that you need every single month that's going to take care of your family without missing anything? Or what is that amount of money that you need when you decide that you no longer want to work that 9 to 5? What is that amount of need that you're going to feel secure, comfortable? Is it $1,000,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000? What is that number? Right? That is called your financial independence number. That's something that I do for my clients as part of my service, as well as helping them to navigate finding their financial independence, your independence number. Right? Do you need to be a six-figure income earner to become financially independent, where you're making a 100,000 or more for the year? Do you have to have a high level job with a big salary to feel that you're secure? Some people don't need that, right? You don't need to receive a large inheritance or win the lottery, right? Because we know a lot of people who especially if you do not understand how money works, when you do not understand how money works and you get a large sum of money or you get more money than you're normally used to, you know what you end up doing? Spending it. And then spends fast. And then on top of that, and you can go research it yourself, that most lottery winners or inheritance end up blowing that money because, first of all, they don't understand how money works. It came to them too fast. And so they're like, well, I can buy all these stuff now. I can have all these stuff. So they're still in that poverty mindset where now things have them instead of they have control. Right? Instead of putting themselves in the position, okay, I need to make sure that this money continues, that it's growing, right? This is how you have a multiple stream of income. First of all, that you're not having to work for it every time. Okay, so one is you're working for it. Okay, that's one way. The other way is that you have it in vehicles that it is working, it's compounding in some type of investment. Okay. And then you're having where you're protecting it. What that's with income protection, right? Hashtag life insurance. Okay. Now you have different levels of your investment. It could be short term, maybe something that you needed within a year to 3 years, right? Then you have long term, not necessarily retirement. Okay. Because remember this, retirement is not an age, it's a number, right? Because you may decide, I want to retire when I'm 35. You may retire, say, when I'm 65, or if you've never got taught financial literacy, you got caught, right? What I mean by say you get caught, you got caught working, grinding, and paying bills, and you realize, wait a minute, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of life. I want to have some time to enjoy the life that God has given me. I want to enjoy that life. How am I able to enjoy that life? Right? And so this is where you put yourself in the position of, okay, I have these different stages. So now I'm paying myself first, right? Paying myself first is not shopping, is making sure that I'm investing and saving and putting money away in my vehicles, right? Before I put in somebody else's. Then I can go ahead and take care of bills, and not to the extent where now you pay everything off, but you still don't have a month. right? And also enjoying different stages. Listen, I'm not a believer of okay, I'm just going to do this, for a little bit. I believe that you do have to sometimes discipline yourself to not spend or do certain things, especially when you're on a goal of financial freedom. But I'm also in the mindset too that you have to enjoy yourself as you are going through that journey, because it's a heck of a thing when you're miserable going through, like, I can't even enjoy life anymore. No, you still need to enjoy your life, enjoy your family and your friends, but you're being wise about it. Maybe you're not expending as much as you normally would, but you're still able to enjoy. That's what I'm talking about, right? Because that's part of prosperity in every area. The other thing too, one of the things I love so much with what I do as a financial coach is that I get an opportunity to help others, right? To have that if they desire, right, they can also be in business for themselves, but not by themselves, and show them how they're able to have, just by one thing, have multiple streams of income just by one thing, meaning that they're focused and I have to be all over it doing 10 different things because you're preaching to the choir. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that whatsoever, right? You can take one concept, one skill set that you have, work that thing, and that thing can have multiple streams of income. Case in point, and this is just a sidebar for those of you that is interested, or somebody who's interested in starting a business, right? They're looking for something where they can have the flexibility, that they can help themselves become financially independent, and in the process help others become financially independent, right? That's creating a win-win, right? Helping to get, like Zig Zig said, you help somebody get what they want, you get what you want in the process, as well. And it offers multiple streams of income. But even if you say, okay, listen, that financial stuff is not for me. I can't I can't do a test. I don't know if I can pass a background check. But listen, you don't even have to have any experience. All you need is a desire to win, to be coachable, right? Do a background check. That's a process. But if you said that's not you, maybe you may know somebody. Hit me up, right? But whatever it is, right? Maybe whatever skill set that you have, you're like, well, I really have a passion for this. Can I take what I have with this and create a home based business, right? That has multiple streams, and the answer to that is a resounding yes, right? So if you're interested in that, we can definitely connect. Um, well, listen, I think at the end of the day, we have to put ourselves in the position, with segregation, that we are in control, because money speaks. We have to be in control of our resources. So I'm glad you asked that question. But we cannot make that be a hindrance to us moving forward, because we can't say, oh, they're going to keep me down, or this. One thing my father would always say to me, he said, the only person can stop you is you. And he says, remember, there are always millionaires doing slavery during difficult times. There are all people who were still getting rich during difficult times. So in this season where we're in, we hear so many things that's happening, the doom and the gloom. But I'm saying this, that when there is such negativity, that means there is an opportunity. There is an opportunity for you. There's an opportunity for you to be financially independent, because your mindset shifts. You're not looking at, oh God, what's happening? I'm gonna play scared. No, you're looking at, what is it that is out there for me, that I can grow, that I can increase first of my mindset, right? That I can increase my assets, decrease my liabilities. One of my part of my affirmation is just like, why is it that I want to be wealthy? Well, I want to create well-paying jobs. That's one. I want to retire my husband. I want to buy more assets. That's my right. Give to the poor. That's mine, right? Because once you get to the mindset that, as I said, money is a tool. What can I do with this tool? But we also have to understand how to properly utilize that tool, right? Saying that to become financially independent, no matter where you are, you can be debt free, right? You can build your savings and investment, right? As well. And you can get to the path of financial independence. You can, but you have to learn how to do what? What is that? What's that thing? Take control, not something controlling you. You have to learn to take control sooner than later. You have to learn, let me say it again, to take control, because nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. So I just wanted to share that real quick, but I just want to share a couple of sites or some information as to, and I'm just going to share about 5 of them, right? Because another thing is, if you're not interested in joining me in my financial services, I am expanding. Okay, I am expanding in North America, outside of Canada, right? As I said, that one of the things is that you do not have to have any experience, right? You do not have to have any degree, even high school. You do have to be willing to do a background check, as well as get licensed, right? And you also have to be coachable and have a desire to win for yourself, your family, and others as well, right? If that is you and you're looking for that, you can have the ability where this is great, that you can work from anywhere, by the way. It does offer flexibility because you are creating your own schedule on top of that, right? We do sponsor. And what I mean by sponsor, instead of paying the full fee as far as what you have to pay for licensings and all that, we help with that. We help with that. We literally have a turnkey business where you don't have to pay for CRM and this and this. It is turnkey, right? With all the training and things that we offer. You don't even have to pay for a schedule. It's all part of the fee because it's a business, right? You got to put some skin in the game. You got to put some skin in the game, but you don't have to put the whole body. You don't have to put the whole body in there, right? So if that is something that you are interested in, be able to have the ability to work from anywhere. And on top of that, this is the other sweet thing. On top of that, there are times you may have to fire yourself, but you can hire yourself. How wonderful is that? It's an opportunity that no matter what's happening in the world, it's something that is very still needed, and that is financial. Because we have to spend more money. We unfortunately sometimes we spend money planning our weddings and birthday than we do planning for our whole life, our whole financial life, that we can have financial independence. We have to take that time and do so as well. All right. So you see my link in the description. If you don't see my link in this description, you could go ahead and message me, right? Because I love connecting people. I absolutely love helping and supporting you navigating these streets, right? And understanding how financial literacy works. But let me just share these ways, because oftentimes, people ask me, Teacher Melanie, do you know of any opportunities that I, outside of what you can do, even though I said, listen, yeah, there's no experience that's needed, you can learn this. You really can. But needless to say, I believe that this is not for everybody. I understand that. Right, it's for those who have a desire, because I am expanding. I'm looking for some clean praise because I cannot do it all. Cannot do it all. So let me just share these a few of work from home opportunities outside of what I do as a financial coach. I'm always looking for additional financial coaches. Okay, and I'm saying that with all sincerity, honestly. And it could be it could be part time or full time. All right, it all depends on how driven are you, what you're looking for, how quickly you want to go. Of course, full time. But if you're just like, I just want to make an extra $500, whatever that amount may be, you could do that. You can do that here. So these opportunities are part times. If you're a stay at home mom, even for me, being for those of you that don't know, I'm a homeschool mom. I do homeschool my daughters. So that's why what I do as a financial is so important, because I'm teaching them financial literacy, right? And I can create my own schedule that's going to be conducive to my family and I. And so so a couple of opportunities. This is something that I actually have one of my streams outside of my financial service, and it just kind of happened by default. Was actually I was working with a client, helping them with their social media, some other things, and opportunity as a social media manager just kind of happened because she just referred to, but also as a virtual assistant. So there's a couple of places, if you don't desire to start a virtual assistant business, here's a few places that do as a virtual assistant that you can work your own hours, right? They're often flexible. Belays, Belay. Okay, these are some part times. Boldly, 20 hours a week as well. Belays also 20. Byron, you can do 1 to 160 hours per month. Equivity, right? Equivity is another opportunity. If you have skill sets as a virtual assistant to work. My VA Rocks, that gives you at least 10 hours a week, and time, etc. 5 to 20 hours per week as a virtual assistant. That's an opportunity you can do part time. As a bookkeeper, also belays again, Equity, Robert Half, Vava Virtual Assistants is also has an opportunity as a bookkeeper. So if you're good with numbers and you have a desire to learn numbers, that's a great opportunity as well. How about being a closed captioner, where here's a couple of companies that offer opportunities: 3Play Media, Happy Scribe, Rev are companies that are looking for closed captioner, and so they subscribe the words that's spoken to become a closed captioner. You must be able to type fast, accurately. Many captions clock in, so you need to do at least 200 words per minute. Okay, so if you're able to do that, that's a great opportunity as well. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. So how about a graphic design? Craig, you have a good eye. You can put things together. You're amazing at Canva or other different types of platform. Um, Lydia, Aeolidia is an opportunity that you can check out. Behance. Behance is Behance, right? That's a pay per job. Design Hill is also a pay per job. Dribble, so they're looking for contractors, freelancers, part-time jobs, and Upwork. Upwork as well. So I hope that helps. Another one, I'm going to share this last one. This is actually one that I did several years ago that I used to do, ESO classes. I actually did it with VIP Kid. At the time, basically, I was teaching Chinese children English. It was a great opportunity. I really made some money. You do have to sometimes stay up late or get up really early because of the time difference. But Berlitz Language Centers, Cambly, there's no experience needed. You can work anytime. EF, you can teach anytime. Lingoda, Lingoda, also can teach anytime. Preply, Preply, and VIP Kit. VIP Kit is what I used to do some years ago as well. So those are the five I wanted to share with you. There are so much more, but you have to just keep following me. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. For those of you that are on YouTube, but just keep following me as I always add more, and also just connect with me because I do have a group, and a lot of times in the group I'll put the actual companies, the links, right, and add more. So I did five in the group. You'll probably find more than five. Okay, you'll definitely find over 20 that you will actually find that we looked into. Check, making sure that the links work so you can go straightly. So if that's something that you're interested, also reach out to me and just let me know membership if that's something that you are interested as well, that you can be a part of my membership if you want to just find out what jobs, what specifically that you need, what's the link, because sometimes they're not always, when you look for it, sometimes you might not necessarily find it. But if you just connect with me in our in my membership group as well, you can find it. Okay, the membership is only $57, right? It's something that you are interested in, which I'm really excited about, to just kind of help you to navigate that, right? Also, I have my ebooks, right, that you can find some of this information, but it's great to also be a part of the group because now you have the ability to be up to date of what's happening in the process, right? Sooner than later. Yeah, absolutely. Knowledge is a powerful tool. It is definitely a powerful tool. I'm glad you said that. So I hope this information helped. So what you want to do with you want to take control. Take control. Don't have anything to tear you. You take control. You get things outside of your work, right? That no matter what happens at work, it's not going to affect you whatsoever. Okay, get things outside of your get an insurance policy outside of work. Make sure you got investments outside of work if you have a 9 to 5. If you are independent contractor, God bless America. My independent contractors, freelance folks, please, I beg you, don't just keep working out here in these streets and not putting anything away, not investing and saving at the same time. You're making the money, but sometimes as soon as the money comes in, it's already spent in your mind and not really get to enjoy the fruit of your labor when you're ready to, because you just have to work all these long hours, but yet and still not properly saving and investing. As well. So if you're a truck driver, or let's say a freelancer, whatever that freelance opportunity, you are a 1099 and you don't know what to do with your money. You're not in any type of program whatsoever, and you want to get some, because as an independent contractor, you can be able to, for your retirement, you can actually put away more, right? And of course, the benefits that you have as well that you want to actually access to. So that's something that we can create a customized plan. But I want to talk a little bit more, especially for independent contractor, because listen, I know as an independent, having my own business, as an independent contractor, you're self-employed and you're not in different programs. And so the worst thing that's happened is that when you get tired of doing what you're doing, right? I have a truck driver driving for 30 years and did not have any type of saving and investment whatsoever, making great money, but was just never had an opportunity to sit down with someone to say, hey, this is what you need to do. Oh, okay. Okay. So anyways, my fabulous piece, I hope this helps. I can't wait to connect with you. Make sure you continue to follow me, subscribe, like, share. Because at the end of the day, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Make it a great day. Bye, fabulous.